maybe it's one of the main messages I would want to transmit tonight is never stay alone. Proletarians of the world gather together. So composers of the work get together. This old idea that many is strength is particularly effective in our domain. So you may work with other musicians, create a small group of something, just to meet, to play your music, to exchange, discuss. You may create an association, that is, give a legal entity to your activity that will may back your activity and give it a kind of recognition. It's what we did with Lee and Mark. So we started most as you say here, amigotes. Amigote is a, you know, good friend. Just discussing together of what we could do, and then we said, okay, let's do something legal. Let's create an association. So we started studying under which jurisdiction, because Lee lives on the other side of the channel, so he has another perception of the world. But we finally decided to make a French association. What? Absolutely. You have to pay. And to make an association under a specific French law that is very open, that permits you to make almost any kind of activity, even illegal activities. So we created this electroacoustic music studies just to promote the actions and to generate a discussion. We wanted it to take place in the marketplace, as you say. And then be responsible of something. That is really my personal case. The fact of having become the head of an institution with all the background, the history, the weight it represents on your shoulders, carrying what has existed and trying to project it towards the future. Now, the case of the electroacoustic composer, there regarding Harter, is not an establishment activity. There may be some exceptions, like, I don't know, Pierre-Henri, but they're not the rule. So, electroacoustic composer tends to be somebody that has a certain difficulty in the musical society. This has improved in the last years, and here I really should thank all the teachers, all the institutions that teach electroacoustic in most European universities or conservatories, in most or in many South American universities and conservatories. The activity of composition is almost always related to electroacoustic. You learn composition and you do a little bit, a lot of electroacoustic associated to that. I forget the North America, which is exactly the same situation. So this has created a certain acceptance of something that has fundamentally, and this hasn't changed in many minds, it's an, do you say aberration in English? Aberration of music. It's music how it shouldn't be done. So we have been fighting with this, even if the first concerts that Schaeffer made in 48 and 49 had a huge acceptance. It was the music of the future, no conductor, no musicians, no nothing, just loudspeakers there. But very quickly this turned into a problem with this music. So this music is still a problem. For example, a sister institution that you all know by name and by heart, called IRCAM, which is a wonderful institution. And it is a wonderful institution because it is a bridge to establishment. Because going to IRCAM, studying there for a couple of years, you may have very good opportunities to get into the contemporary high-class circle of composers which are considered as important as any other composer and should be played in any concert hall today. There are not many of them, 5, 6, 10 probably. So the IRCAM is a way to get there. Which is the highest you can get in electroacoustic? Probably GRM. I'm not very proud of that. But, okay, you have a commission by GRM, you perform in the Salle Olivier Messiaen with 85 loudspeakers and 600 people behind, and after that, what do you become? There's nowhere else to go. Okay, there are other institutions, so we'll try your way around. In France, there are several of them. There may be in other countries that may make a concert here or a concert there. But really, the possibilities of sharing your music with other people are very, very low, statistically. This was said before. Musicians are not necessarily trained. Neither good nor bad. It's a reality. And personally, because I had a traditional training, I tend to think that a composer should have a training, but I'm not completely sure. There's an intuitive approach to sound in electroacoustic music that is extremely rich when you don't have any background. And I have seen wonderful composers that had no background, just intuition. And probably one of the strongest examples of what I'm saying comes from the Electrónica movement. People that use exactly the same tools, that have huge audiences. But every now and then they come and see us. And what are they interested in? Not our tools, not our studios, not our concert halls. They are interested in the fact that we have a certain notion of time, of development, of articulation, of sudden changes, of contrast. And they want to understand that. But they are extraordinarily gifted musicians, as many of the composers I know. It is very difficult to market. Try to make a concert with loudspeakers in England. No possibility. It's a foreign element that may hurt the audience. In France it may be accepted, but for example, you must know that in France when you perform our work with performers and loudspeakers, the loudspeaker should be at least at 2 meters from the performer, because if not, he cannot concentrate. That's the rule. Or you have to put a shield between the loudspeaker and the listener. It is complex to install, complex to rehearse, and as I said earlier, many prejudgments associated to it. Is it really music? My hairs stand up when sorry Daniel, when somebody talks about art sonore. Okay, I find the definition very poetical, but I cannot understand a definition of music which doesn't include the word music. But I'm not criticizing what was said or the word. Probably there's something else to this music that has often pushed people to have a wider perception of what it may be.